guys, Tomboy601, and today we are going to be taking a look at 5 tips to shoot down more aircraft. Right now, I know there is that challenge out there that is dogging us all to get 125 shoot downs of planes, and you may be struggling with it. So I'm going to go over my 5 tips in order to help you improve the number of planes you shoot down per match. So if that sounds like a plan, just stay on tuned. So first things first, the number 1 tip is going to sound a little bit obvious, but use a ship with good AA. My personal favorite is Cheshire. She has an incredible AA build. We've detailed that before. You can go ahead and click on this video right over here if you want to see our AA build for Cheshire. But there are a couple of other ships. Atlanta, which is currently a GXP ship that you can pick up. Excellent, pretty much any light cruiser. Also, the new Talon, surprisingly good anti-aircraft rating on it. So all of those are ships that I would recommend for giving it a go when trying to get some good shoot downs. My next tip, my number 2 tip, is going to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. By that means, if you don't want to play a cruiser, something you can do is maybe take out an American destroyer and build it for AA. Yeah, you can do that. American destroyers have surprisingly decent AA. They don't have amazing AA, but they have pretty decent AA. And if you go ahead and build it, you put the mod slot 1 instead of main battery, you go with that AA to boost the 20% range on those AA guns, and then also use that first slot skill set to boost your damage once again. You could be looking at a fairly deadly destroyer build with AA. And you know what the best part about it is, because you are a destroyer, the aircraft carrier is going to come to you, right? The primary role of the aircraft carrier is to get out there and destroy the destroyers. It's to hunt them down, to keep them spotted. And if they're going to get in range of you, you might as well get a couple of points, get a couple of shoot downs. And I was fairly successful running the kid like that. So that's my number 2 tip. My number 3 tip is play tier 6. Tier 6 is probably the best chance you have at running into an aircraft carrier, and that's simply because, well, there's 2 classes of aircraft carrier that straddle it, right? You have tier 5 and tier 7 aircraft carriers. So the only way you don't have a chance of running into an aircraft carrier is if you get into a straight tier 6 match, but we know how much the matchmaker likes to mix the different classes. So tier 6 is kind of where it's at when you want to get aircraft carriers in your game. Like I said, it kind of doubles your chances of being able to get one when you're down at tier 6, because, tier 5 and tier 7. My next one is what you're seeing right here. Play aircraft carriers. One thing that will happen a lot, which none of these things we've really talked about, is sometimes aircraft carriers just aren't in your match. And that is one of the unfortunate things when you build for an AA ship, like we talked about in our first 2 tips. You could build for an AA ship, and then all of a sudden, all that hard work gets thrown right down the drain because, well, there's no aircraft carriers in the match, and your build is kind of trash because of it. So one of the things you can do to guarantee an aircraft carrier in your game is play an aircraft carrier. And fortunately, it turns out aircraft carriers pretty good AA. Not only do they have an excellent AA defense suite, which you can utilize to both kind of be and play with your team and provide AA cover, but also, even if you're like the last aircraft standing, guess what? That enemy aircraft carrier is probably going to come after you, and your fighters are going to be able to deal with them, and you'll get a couple of shoot downs. The other thing, of course, you do have the deployable fighter squadrons. So you could kind of just set yourself out on a mission in order to shoot down. If you're planning on doing that, if you're planning on playing a straight counter the other aircraft carrier, I would recommend running the Germans. They do have the fastest planes, and that way you are more able to quickly counter enemy aircraft because you're able to see and kind of create intercept courses and get there quicker. That's my recommendation. If you're wanting to run it like that, go with the Germans, or just choose whichever aircraft carrier you're more comfortable with. I love the British ships, so that's why I ran Furious a ton. And finally, my last tip is don't be afraid to division up with people. we just talked about having a CV guarantees you having another CV in the game, but sometimes you don't want to play CV, and that's where being able to division up, even with randoms, could very much be to your benefit, right? Go down into that looking for a division tab, put yourself in, and message the other person you get divvied up and be like, hey, do you want to switch off with CVs? I'll run an AA build, you run the CV, and we vice versa. Then you are able to quickly and easily get into CV matches and be guaranteed the fact that you will have a decent build to counter it and that there will be that aircraft carrier, right? Because that's the dream. That's the dream. An anti-aircraft class and then having actual aircraft to shoot down. That's what we all want and love. But yeah, guys, those are my 5 tips to getting more aircraft in your games and being able to shoot them down more effectively and getting more shoot downs. What are some of yours? Let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.